What if Europe's first true sailors didn't come from the warm harbors of the Mediterranean or the later shipyards of the Nordic world, but from the muddy banks of the Humber around 2000 BCE? What if, long before written history touched Britain, a coastline of quiet settlements hid a maritime culture capable of open sea travel, a civilization that shouldn't exist yet clearly did? North Ferriby had been occupied since the Neolithic, with communities living along the estuary from roughly 4000 to 3000 BCE. But the mystery begins in the early Bronze Age, between 2030 and 1680 BCE, when something astonishing appeared in the river mud: the remains of 3 large plank-built boats, crafted centuries before such technology was supposed to reach Britain. Dendrochronology, the tree ring dating used across European archaeology, confirms their age with precision. Ferriby Boats 1, 2, and 3 belong squarely to this period, making them the oldest seagoing boats ever discovered in Europe. Not dugouts carved from single logs, but true ships. Heat-bent oak planks shaped to interlock, cleats carved directly into the wood, wedges hammered to tighten the seams, and yew-lashings threaded through carefully placed holes. These were vessels designed with confidence, as if the builders were working from a tradition that had existed long before the boats themselves. Each boat may have stretched up to 16 meters in length, capable of carrying a dozen crew members and more than a ton of cargo. Modern reconstructions, including digital models tested in 2022 and 2023, show that they weren't confined to estuaries. Their hulls offered the buoyancy, flexibility, and speed needed for real seafaring, with some tests suggesting they could reach 8 to 10 knots. If true, then Britain's Bronze Age shore wasn't isolated at all. It was connected, and the archaeological record supports this. From 1800 to 1400 BCE, long before the Iron Age, Britain shows evidence of wide-reaching exchange. Baltic amber, continental ornaments, and materials from distant regions all converge near the Humber. Isotope studies reveal individuals buried in Britain who spent their childhoods across the North Sea. Someone, or something, was crossing open water long before conventional history allows it. But this raises a deeper question. Where is the infrastructure that should accompany ships like these? A plank-built vessel requires skilled carpenters, seasoning yards, forest management for oak timber, rope-making traditions, and communities who understood tides, winds, and the behavior of coastal waters. Yet no shipyard has been uncovered. No workshop, no written evidence of the maritime knowledge these boats imply. It's as though we are looking at the remains of a system that operated for generations, yet left only its most durable artifacts behind. And that is the true paradox of Ferriby. The technology arrives suddenly, fully realized, without prototypes or earlier stages. It belongs to a society that clearly mastered long-distance coordination, but whose material traces are faint and scattered. A people who understood more about the sea than their age should have allowed, and who worked with tools sophisticated enough to produce vessels that modern shipwrights still study. Ferriby forces us to reconsider the idea of isolation in Bronze Age Britain. It hints at a maritime world that connected coastlines, carried goods, and carried stories. A world that flickers into view only through fragments of oak buried in the mud.